Hi everyone, this is Miss Wilson, and I'm going to go over some stuff in this video that's going to help you with the assignment for APLED 123, the first presentation. So I'm looking at Canvas right now. Actually, I'm looking at a Word document, I think. Let me go, so you can find this Word document on Canvas. It's easier for me to look at it right here and zoom in. And I'll show you where it's located on Canvas at the end of this video. But this is our first presentation, researching leading companies or employers in your industry. So whenever you graduate from your program here at SCC, we're hoping that you will either start working for a business or you'll start your own business, right? And many students aren't ready to start their own business quite yet when they graduate. So you'll probably be working for someone else for at least a little while. And what we're going to do with this assignment is research some leading companies or employers in the industry. So this can be a local company, it can be nationwide, or it can even have a global presence. So for example, if I was in automotive and I was interested in Toyota, Toyota's global, right? And especially they've got, focuses here in Japan, but they're all over the world. So you're going to design a PowerPoint presentation or other presentation that involves research of the employer company and possibly a little bit of personal experience. So let's say if I had worked for a branch of Toyota, or I know someone who has, I could bring a little bit of that into the presentation, but you're going to be doing some research as well, right? That's the basis of the presentation, is some research. MLA citations for outside sources is required. So one thing I will say here, if you are more comfortable with APA style versus MLA style, I will accept that. The main thing here is that you give credit to websites and sources that you use, right? So MLA, but if you're more comfortable with APA, my main objective is that you give credit to where your information is coming from, right? And we'll talk about that in a separate video. So important deadlines, you're going to have that for every group. This particular quarter, you've got this deadline of November 1st for your rough draft. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then we'll have presentation dates near the end of that week for each individual group, and you'll receive that through email, and it'll be posted on Canvas as well. And so you can look at that. That's going to be individual to each class or group. This is posted on Canvas, by the way. So all assignments must include research from at least 3 outside sources. That's usually going to be websites for most people, but if you have some print sources or print information you'd like to use, that's fine as well. You want to make at least one specific reference to our class textbook. So looking ahead or looking at previous chapters we've had, if you want to look at some of the definitions that are talked about in the book, or some of the important points that are talked about in the book, say the concept of diversity that's talked about in one of the chapters, and Toyota maybe promotes a very high level of diversity in its company or in its hiring practices or whatever, and you want to relate Toyota's practices to something that was talked about in the book, that's great. That's what I want to see you do with that one reference to our course textbook. And that's just an example. You can pull from a lot of different things out of the textbook and then speak to how your company utilizes that term or exemplifies that term. So I don't require the outside sources to be like academic. You don't have to necessarily like go to the library for this particular presentation, but you do need to have reliable sources. What this means is that you need to be ready to look up and find information about and provide proof of who the author is of a website. And it may be the company itself that authored the website. So Toyota.com is published by Toyota. It's not like one person wrote that or put that together. A lot of people in the company worked hard to put together Toyota's website. So you can, give credit to the organization in that case. A title, tell us what the website is, and get a date of publication. In the case of like Toyota.com, for example, there's not going to be an exact date. They're probably constantly updating their website, but there's at least going to be a copyright year down at the very bottom, and that's probably going to be 2020, copyright Toyota LLC or something like that. General website sources such as Wikipedia or about.com, encyclopedias and dictionaries, those don't count, okay? So I don't want information about Toyota that came from a dictionary or an encyclopedia. I want more in-depth information than that. Even Wikipedia, we don't know. There's all kinds of different authors contributing to it. So those are out. You can't use those. Just general Google results without following up and seeing what website it came from. We're not going to do that either. Social media posts on Twitter or Facebook are not acceptable. So posts that other people are making on social media, we're not going to use. But if you are looking at the company itself, like maybe they have a very detailed Facebook page. This is especially important if you choose a local company. A lot of times Facebook's free, so they will put a lot of hard work into a Facebook page or maybe an Instagram page where they can market to customers and it's theirs and they own it. And so I will allow that. If it is the Facebook or social media page that belongs to the company, and you want to pull from there, I will allow that for sure. Okay. Other things that people have asked about in the past, and you can just run by me if you need to, are websites where people give reviews of what it's like to work at a particular company. So if you are interested in pulling something like that and using it in your presentation, just check with me and get permission to do so, and we'll make sure it's a reputable website. So PowerPoint is expected unless you receive prior permission from me. I do allow alternative formats as long as the student lets me know in advance. And I have had students who just didn't prefer PowerPoint. They wanted to present in a different way, and I was open to it. So let me know if you are thinking of something besides PowerPoint. Otherwise, PowerPoint is expected. Here's what you need to do. Each one of these bullet points is worth 20 points. So how many people are employed? Like, find out how big they are. Find out what their scope is. Are they here locally only? Are they just in this region? Are they all over the world? What are some of the positions that the company is currently seeking to fill? So look at some job descriptions that they have. And this, again, it's probably going to be coming directly from their website. You may, in some cases, go to like simplyhired.com or indeed.com or monster.com and pull from an ad. It's not from the company's website, but they've posted an ad on some other website advertising for certain positions. So you can definitely pull from those types of websites if you'd like. What kind of education or experience is generally required to work for this employer? So it might be that they have positions where you can have as little as like a high school diploma. It might be that they prefer people to have college experience to even work there, or you need to be certified in something to even be able to work there. Just depends. So just give some information there. What are some of the benefits of working for the company or the employer? What are some of the good things, if any, that this employer has done for the local or global community? A lot of times they'll publicize it if they've done something to give back or to help others. And some of them offer scholarships, right? So that's kind of good to know. Has this employer received any kind of recognition in recent years for its accomplishments? Why are you considering this employer or company, and why should others consider it? And you might not necessarily be considering it, but it's just one you're interested in and you're going to recommend to others, right? Additional grading criteria. You need to include significant visuals, and those are worth 30 points, at least one visual per slide, or a link to a website that includes visuals. You need to include a works cited page at the end that's also worth 30 points. So works cited or references page if you choose to go with APA. Minimum of 5 slides is required to receive a passing score on the assignment, but usually 10 slides, about 10 or so is what I recommend in order to get a good grade. Okay. So this kind of gives you some details about the types of sources, what you need to make sure you include whenever you document. And I will create a separate video and separate example that kind of shows you a little bit about
Hey, don't play with that. No.
All right, guys. Yep, out of the room. Mommy's got to record here. So you'll submit this on Canvas by a deadline, and that deadline, here it is for this particular group, this particular quarter, but you'll have this document on Canvas to make sure that you know what the submission deadline is for your group for the rough draft. And then the final submission will be presented on a certain day and time for your group. And you'll need to have those final submissions uploaded on Canvas 30 minutes prior to the very first student presentation for your program, okay? So late submissions, etc. Here's what the penalties are for late grades, whatever. If you do visit the tutoring center at any point, or even do internet or Zoom tutoring or whatever, just schedule that in advance. So if it's late and it's after the deadline, it doesn't count. But if you do it before your deadlines, so if the deadline is November 1st, or if your presentation date is November 5th or whatever, and you do it before that, send me proof of it, and I would be happy to add an additional 10 points onto the end of the presentation. So with that, I'm going to stop the share, and I hope that that's been helpful information. And I am going to go ahead and share just an example of what you might see on Canvas. So if you go into your Canvas, this is one of my classes. If you go into your Canvas, these little whited out ones represent things that you can't see. Those are blocked. Those are only for the instructor. They're not published. The check marks are items that you can see. This is our very top of the page in Canvas, welcome syllabus and major assignments. A 200-point assignment, a PowerPoint presentation is considered major. So you're going to see it somewhere near the top of the page here under your major assignments. And so there it is for this particular class, right there in the top folder. And that's how you access this document. And again, this document is going to have your specific deadlines for your class, etc. So as always, email me if you have any questions. And I'd be happy to help you out and look forward to seeing some of your great presentations. Have a good day. Bye-bye.